Welcome back to Phakisa Freeway. Aerial material in the sky, but some big action about to get out onto the black stuff as the Car Care Clinic Phakisa 200 get ready to roll out. This is a category that is combined with two categories of racing from the Extreme Festival, one being Super Hatch and the other one being 111 Sports and Saloons, which means we've got about 55 cars about to go and do battle out on the black stuff, which is really, really cool to see. It's been running for a long, long time. You can see a bit of preparations now on some of the cars, getting them ready after the couple of little sprint races that happened throughout the day. Some really top teams that are involved here, and they're all looking to try and take this one and win overall, as well as the index of performance. We'll go through that as we get into the racing proper. But remember, there's also the compulsory pit stop. But let's catch up with Wayne Masters.
Just to be consistent there on the track. Tyre degradation here is very high, so you've got to just drive very smooth, not let the car slide. Obviously, I'm up against the turbo cars. I'm hoping to be consistent and be there at the end, because if they're going to sprint race anywhere or get into a dice, I might have a chance to beat them.
Let's catch up with Brett Garland now, who'll be teaming up with Jeff Kruger in his car.
Well, basically, Jeffrey Kruger's going to go out first and do the first stint. Basically, try and get to the end is the main thing with the 200 race. But yeah, we've got DeLange, who's very quick, and Louis Stoltz that was right on my tail in the sprint race. So I think we've got our work cut out for us. But between Jeffrey and I, if the car holds out, I think we've got a good chance of taking gold.
There are a couple of rookies out there. They'll be looked after by Trevor Bland. Let's find out what his team's plans are.
Pace himself. It's his first endurance race. He's never done this before. Just pace himself. I've given him a target lap time to try and aim for. It's a bit difficult. You can't see what he's doing though. But just to finish and have fun, I guess.
There's a lot of fun expected out on track, and that's all part and parcel of this. You can see on the sideline how the different ways of bringing cars in and pit lane antics as the cars start to roll out now and get ready to go. There's a big array of cars out there as well. Most of them are saloon cars. They're all going to be doing battle here big time as that green flag gets underway and the lights go out. Men to watch out for will be in the 111 Sports and Saloon cars. They basically going to have a slight advantage over the Super Hatch due to the fact that they're a little bit more powerful. But that means nothing, because over 200 Ks, they've got to make sure that they get to the end and get to the end with everything being done right, including the compulsory pit stop. We go into the aerial material for the start. Look at this big field of 55 cars about to make their way down into turn one here at Phakisa Freeway. Great to see a nice big crowd out here, and they've all come to be entertained in this kind of fashion. Heading into turn one, a good start there from Beside Note. He leads out, Voterus right on his tail, and they start to sort things out there 3 by 3 in the background, as you can see. Ooh, a little bit sideways from Ishmael Peck. And George Economides here in the Nathan's Motorsport Polo, very lucky to miss that car. There you can see some action aplenty as they come through down into the boot section for the very first time. Now they start to sort things out. Paul Simon making his way through there in the Volkswagen Caddy. And look at that, mainly Volkswagen product out there, but there are a couple of Porsches, there's some Hondas, there's a couple of other little cars thrown in there, including the Hyundai. Watch out for that man, Leonard Archer doing a super job there in that machine in the sprint races, now looking to put it into practice in the slightly longer one. That's another car to watch out for just behind the 975 going through there. And of course, Gary Gordon has been very quick all weekend in the sprint. Let's see what he can do now in the slightly longer 200K one. The other car I was going to mention is that Work Subaru, piloted by Fana Feifa, and he's going to be partnered by Mackie Adlam. There's the leading Super Hatch car, Andre DeLange in the Audi doing a super job. Oh, problems. That's Jeff Kruger and the Autobahn Civic, and that's the reason why. Look at that, the wheel rolling right up onto the banking, hitting the wall and coming through into the kitty litter. Hopefully it doesn't go back onto the track. But Jeff Kruger having a big moment through Unchini 1 on lap 1, and that car looks like it might be out. Paul Simon under attack there in the Volkswagen Caddy Bucky, and it's under attack big time from the Audi as DeLange goes around the outside looking for a way through. I think he might have just squeezed it. No, they're still side by side. Look in the background. Look out for Mark Tatoy piloting that Z4, the black one just going through screen. And as they come down into the final turn to complete lap number 1, there's Louis Stoltz going through there in the Car Care Clinic car. And right behind that, they're all just sorting themselves out in the pack. Now remember, with 55 cars on track, it's going to get busy, particularly in about 6 or 7 laps time, as these lead cars start to get into the back markers. And then you're going to have traffic for the next 150 odd Ks. It's not going to be easy out there, that is for sure. Diving on the inside, Valdo Swigger's looking for a way through on Zane, and very tight between the two of them. Golf 1 versus Golf 2 coming out of turn number 1. A little bit further back. They're all just getting into a little bit of a rhythm there. And it's great to see. Jean van der Walt there in the Ford Figo. There's a different mock. Nice to see a different model of car there. The BMW up the front 10 as well, doing a super job. And Besaidnout looks like he's lost the lead. Yes, he has. A change up there for first and second. And it's now a good move here from Wouter. Wouter Rus going to try and open up a bit of a margin. Wayne Masters just ahead of Battis. Then you've got Marked. And then coming through there, a super start from Paul Simon. But big battle here between the Audi. And look at how he's having to fight off the 209. And that Honda Ballard with Nick Dodds behind the wheel is having a big battle. Not an easy day in the saddle for him. Mark the Toy going through Unchini 1 now. Watch for Masters diving on the inside. Oh, someone's run wide. Is that Besaidnout? I think Besaidnout might have just put a wheel on the dirt there. And putting a wheel on the inside of the corner as well. Having a big attack there as they go down towards the fastest part of the track, but they can't overtake you. Double waved yellows. There must be an incident down at Gielkop. The double right-hander. Just watch and see as they head towards it now. Besaidnout just backing off ever so slightly. Masters applying massive pressure, looking for a way through there on the BM. That BMW is piloted by Philip Eminis. His wife Marianne going to be joining him later on and taking over the role. Looks like he's just lost out a bit of ground there. Yes, he has. Losing out first of all to Masters, then a little bit of mistake cost him dearly, and he's dropped back to about 7th place on track. Change up again for the lead into turn 1. Besaidnout now leads over Rus. Nice shot here from the Nathan's Motorsport Polo, and as they go down towards the kink, towards turn 2, this is everything she's got here and looking for a way through. Not going to be easy to do though. A little bit of a maneuvering through here. Ishmael Beloy starting to make his way and ticking them off one by one. Problem is 21 moving off the sideline there. Maurice Rousseau and Freddie Watkins sharing that old school Polo. And in the pits, looks like there's problems here on Steven Creel's car, so he's having to work frantically to try and get things sorted out, having to pull in earlier on and definitely not on schedule. There is the return of the Autobahn Civic, and it's parked on the back of the flatbed, and you can see Jeff explaining the wheel is completely off.
I got turned into I think turn 10, 9, and then the left wheel just came off, so I think it sheared the studs. Unfortunate for Brett. I mean, lost out quite an amount of points today, so it's unfortunate. It's part of the 2 hour. The car goes through a lot of stress, so we'll fix it and move it back for the next one.
Well, looks like they've got that car sorted out as Holiday and Creel's car makes its way back on track. Off track at the fastest part of the track. Eerdling in the Polo Classic, getting it all out of shape, and that FSR Polo now parked in the kiddie litter. Gonna have to try and get that car recovered. It's been probably yellow flags down into that turn. It's the fastest part of the track as you pitch it into that right-hander. See some chopping and changing in the mid-pack here. The Porsche's getting in the mix. Ishmael Beloy starting to come through the pack as well. You see it's a bit of a fight on here, which is good to see. This is the type of action we expected to see in the 200s. And in this Phakisa 200, it kind of goes for the entire time you're out on track. And as I mentioned earlier on, watch out because there's lots of traffic to try and avoid and get through as quickly as possible. On board here with Ishmael Beloy heading up towards Unchini 1. The rest of the field heading down into the fastest part. And here is the Silver and Dangle sharing that Motormart. One of the only Motormart Volkswagen Challenge cars involved in this category, and sharing it here, pushing hard behind him is Mel Spur, and then you can see some big changes in the background there. Watch out for them as they start to get into the mix now, because remember, it's Class A, B, and C in Super Hatch. You've got A, B, C, D, E, and X in Triple Ones, and they're all trying to fight for overall honors as well as class victories. So you got to just make sure that you're playing around with the right cars and not getting too involved with the wrong cars at the front end. DeToy doing a very good job here so far for Trans Africa Racing, moving himself up into 3rd place and getting right into the attack now on Besaidnout and Rus. So a 3-way battle, make it a 4-way battle, because just behind him, that 4th car, not too far behind. And there is a 4-way battle here for the lead of the overalls. And Masters is that 4th car. Behind that is Battis van Jaarsveld. First time out for him here at Phakisa. And we heard from Trevor Bland, he was going to try and take it easy. Doesn't look like that's what he's doing. Eminis just behind that. So we literally got 6 cars, all with a shot of taking the overall win so far, if everything goes according to plan, and they avoid situations like this, coming up on slower cars in fast corners. Looking for a way through. DeToy dives on the inside, trying to find a sneaky line. Again, it's going to work out for him. I think it will. Besaidnout to go a long way around, and DeToy goes on the inside line and nails it perfectly. So possibility DeToy's moved up to 2nd place as Wouter Rus closes in on the back end of Kaylin Miller. She had some issues earlier on in the race. Didn't quite get that little car of hers sorted out. Had to start from the pit lane when they pulled it back in on the start line. But good to see her back out there. Wayne Masters has got through on Besaidnout as well. The reason being is that Teni Swanepoel just ahead there. Motorcycle rider who's now changed to 4 wheels. In fact, has ridden all 4 classes today. Not only in the Super Hatch, but also here in the 200 and on his motorcycle. So he's had a busy day in the saddle, and this is a completely different scenario for him to be racing on 4 wheels. But needless to say, doing a super job. Getting out of the way there as Masters blasts past across the line and completes another lap. Behind that, how far back is Besaidnout? Or Besaidnout actually getting a good drive there and getting through. Masters looks like he's got a problem. A little bit of smoke coming out of that Performance Masters machine, and he pulls to the sideline. Hopefully he hasn't dropped any material onto the circuit that'll cost him. But here we go, Performance Masters car pulling to the sideline. Looks like it might be out. They might be able to squeeze it across the track and get it back into pit lane and see if they can get it sorted out. But looks like it might be the end of the day here for Wayne Masters. He pulls underneath and right next to the old tower of the previous circuit. And you can see this not where he wants to be. Trying to find a way through to maybe one of those slip roads so he can get back to the pit lane. And that's good driving there coming from Wayne. Staying completely out of the circuit and completely off it. Oh, off it. Speaking of off, Louis Scholz is off as well. Mistake into turn one, allowing Marius lots to go around his outside. Mel's been caught out as well. Maybe there's a bit of oil there from Masters' car. I think they might have slipped on that oil, and heading down into turn one is going to make it very treacherous. Hopefully you can have that change of surface flag out there. Some of the cars avoiding that oil line, maybe just seeing it in time. Don't know how you can see it in time because it's very tricky. Oh, Bryce Pillay caught out as well. He spins out, catches himself, and the Motorsport Academy man will be able to get back on track there pretty easily, I'm sure. Further back in the field, Vernon Stoltz and Tyler Scott sharing the Opel Kadett. Starting to close in on some of their rivals, but a little bit of smoke out of the back of that car too could be a little bit of a problem. There's the big Passat all on its own sim as we see Stian Kriel starting to make his way through there, still in the car there and sharing, of course, with Holiday Jr., Ishmael Baloy. He's got a bit of attack coming from the back from Nati Msamanga, and of course Nati, only 15 years of age, fighting there with Gossman. Oh, that's a nice little battle to watch out for. Right, Voterus up front. So far, so good, but oh, as I say that, commentator's curse, there goes the toy, diving through at a very fast part of the track. Now it's a double right-hander down towards Gielkop, and it looks like the toy might have timed this to perfection. Let's see if he's able to keep it out front. Voter just keeping him well within grasp and not letting him get away too easily. He's going to try and stay there with the 74 Z4 BMW. Kish Patamba is waiting in the sidelines to take over from the hard charger, Detoy, who's come through the field and has just taken his time, bided his time, watched out for this kind of action. What you see right here, you don't want to be involved in that as Gossman gets a little bit out of shape. It might have been helped out a bit there as well by the car going around his outside, but fortunately kept it away from the barrier and gets back on track in the all-Wagen car. Coming into pit lane, Golf 2. Yanni van Rooyen at the wheel of that one. Francois Henning going around the outside of Gossman. Let's catch up with Chris Davison down in pit lane.
Well, Phakisa 200. Once a year that we all get together this. As you see going on behind us, mandatory pit stop. Most people choose to have a change of driver. Some guys are brave enough and do it all on their own. But I'm waiting, I'm second co-driver with Nick Martin in our Peugeot B999, and he should be coming in shortly for me to go and do the second stint.
Looks like Colonel Custer's changed his name to the Flash. Hope he's as fast as the Flash. As we get back on track, you can see the Z4 starting to make its way through there. Henny Swanepoel's got some problems in pit lane on the left-hand side. It's going to be pit lane action and on-track action for the rest of this race now. Watching left and right on the screens as pit lanes start to happen. The Squadra Corsa boys coming in there. De Lange applying pressure to try and get through there and maintain his lead in the Super Hatch. There you can see no air tools allowed. Everything has to be done manually, and looks like on track you've got Zanderus doing well as Voter comes in with a small issue. As he heads to the bonnet, he's going to look down. Maybe a little bit of a clutch problem there. Let's find out if Nate's going to do anything about it.
Go as hard as we can. It's a story.
That's always the story there with him. As Graham Nathan leaves, let's find out from Voter.
Oh, it was absolutely awesome. I think we had a wonderful dice between George and Mark Detoy in the black BMW. So yeah, it's still early days. Let's see what happens. Hopefully they can. Hopefully the clutch has resolved itself, and let's see what happens from here.
It's not a bad man to have behind the wheel, though, handing across to Graham Nathan, the man who prepped that car, so he'll know exactly what to do to try and get around the problem. There you can see Van der Pfeiffer handing across to Mackie Adlam, who we saw earlier on in the show in the V8 Supercar. So this will be a little bit of a different machine for him to play in. First time for him to be in an all-wheel drive car, and I'm sure he's looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, enjoying it, eh? First time in a four-wheel drive, so let's see.
Looks like there's a bit of an issue there on Larry Wolford's car as well, as we see Batters coming in. Let's see how it's gone so far for him.
Oh, it's rough. There's a lot of traffic, some really fast cars, but it's a lot of fun. It's great fun.
This is your first endurance race?
It is my first endurance race, yes. First time on Welcome circuit as well.
Nice quick change here for the Car Care Clinic team. And just getting everything sorted. Don't want to make any mistakes. You've got to ensure that you do everything right. You can see the marshals standing on the sidelines, making sure that everything gets done according to the rules, and then you can get back out onto the battleground. The right-hand side of the screen, nice maneuvering there from De Lange, maintaining his lead. You see a change up here. This is nice to see. Voter climbing into Mel's car and sharing two cars today.
And I hit the Armco in turn one. car feels okay. I'm not sure what it was, but Voda better just stay out there regardless of what happens, not do another pit stop and finish this race.
Lead cars in. Quick change here from Mark du Toit to Kish Patamba. He'll take it to the checkered flag if they can stay out front, and it looks like they've done that as he heads back out on track, still in the lead.
Yeah, everything's great. We had a nice start to the race, a good battle for, I don't know, about half an hour, the top 6 cars. Then I got to the front. I think Voda had a little bit of an issue, and George Mercedes was chasing me hard and then fell back sort of after about 45 minutes. So everything's going according to plan for us. Kishore now in the car, and good luck to him. I'm looking forward to some water.
Oh, that doesn't look good. Graham Nathan walking back into pit lane, which means the clutch has gone completely on that Nathan's Motorsport Polo. That's a big pity for them. Car Care Clinic's Louis Scholz looking for a 2nd overall, and looks like he's going to be taking the win in both of his classes, in triple ones and in the super hatch. Donnie Daisel and Gary Gordon sharing that one for the 3rd overall, the 975 Honda Ballard. A good drive from Philip Mayer as well. Looks like he's going to be in the top 2 in his category. And a nice drive from Nick Martin and Chris Davidson. There they are, the Union Jack, or the NATO-coloured car there, the Peugeot, coming to the line just ahead of the leader, Kish Patamba, who's going to bring that Z4 BMW to the checkered flag to take the Phakisa 200. Proudly brought to you by Car Care Clinic. And what a drive from those two. Haven't put a wheel wrong, lights ablaze, checkered flag comes out and into the sunset. This is 2nd place overall. Louis Scholz also taking win in both of his classes for Super Hatch, as well as in Triple One Sports and Saloons, and a great day's racing there for him. Top 4 overall, Mark du Toit and Kish Patamba ahead of Louis Scholz, Gary Gordon and Donnie Daisel, and the rookie in 4th place. And then in the Index of Performance, Nathan Samanga takes it ahead of Shane Forget, Almira Van Eck and Louis Scholz. In the Super Hatch category, Louis Scholz took the Class A's ahead of Andre De Lange. Nick Martin and Chris Davison sharing got ahead of Mel Spur and Voteris for Class B, and Class C went to Almira Van Eck ahead of Nathan Samanga. In the Triple One Sports and Saloons, Class A went to Mark du Toit and Kish Patamba. Louis Scholz took Class B. Rainer van Heerden took the Class D's, Marius Lotz in Class E, and Gary Gordon Class X. Let's catch up with Louis Scholz, 2nd overall for the day.
Stoked is not the word. Over the moon. Can't imagine the joy in me. I want to say thank you to the team, the family that's down here. Everybody's put effort in. All the car prep, the work, everything. It's great. A lot of effort. We don't have tyres left. We don't have a car left, but it was good. So we made it. So thank you very much and appreciation.
Let's catch up with the overall winner, Kish Patamba, as he brought it to the line.
It's an excellent day. Firstly, thank you very much to the team. I think they did an excellent job. Very good pit stop, and I think more so to Mark, that actually gave me a decent enough lead so that I could just actually keep it. Very big change for me, coming from Mopa to actually do this, riding with some of the other triple ones and the hatchbacks. Incredible, very good racing. I'm really excited.
All this Extreme Festival of Motorsport action is proudly brought to you by Mobile One, Car Care Clinic, and Motormart Clarkstorp.